From water deep to Icewind Dale, unlikely friends fight tooth and scale. A little faith, a lot of rage, to bring the summer back again. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Bonus action. Heroes, tortured and trapped within the mist, hunted by horrors from out the abyss. We've seen friends fall, but must endure, survive to see the sun once more. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Heroes.
Hello, welcome to Bonus Action Heroes Plays Out of the Abyss. How's everyone doing?
We had a plan.
Do you have a plan? We were just discussing, weren't we, what occurred last week, or not last week, the week before last, when Hazel couldn't make it. I don't know, does someone want to try and summarise it all again? There was quite a lot. No.
You talked to a lot of people. You
It's a
found
lot.
some stuff out.
We're going to build this thing with thingy,
Yeah.
and that will summon all of the demon lords to one place. We're banking on them fighting each other so that by the end of their fight, we only have one demon lord to fight.
That's accurate.
Okay.
What else did you learn? You learned that the library is split into past, present, and future, and that with the stone speaker crystal that you have, each of you is able to effectively ask a question about what happened, what is happening now, or potentially what a future might look like. Although the future is very fluid and always changing. Drodin was cured of his many indefinite madnesses that he's collected from the various demon lords. He's probably disappointed that he's not going to be able to collect the full set now, but there's still time. There's still plenty of demon lords out there, Jim, so don't worry. And yeah, Vizerin Devere has a plan to make an item called the Heart of Darkness, which will, as you say, will summon all the demon lords. It will enrage them effectively and draw them in like a lighthouse of sorts. But he has yet to reveal how this will be made and what is required to make it. He has said that if you're interested, he would be willing to meet you at his tower afterwards to discuss an alliance, an agreement, a way forward. And is there anything I've missed? I think that's largely it. You seem to have a good plan. You have Grazet.
Our backup plan with Grazet.
Yeah, well, he's currently in the bag of holding in the gem now that Drodin is cured of his influence. Mortal mind struggles to maintain its sanity when coming into contact with such powerful demon lords. So I think you're currently trying to protect him from doing so, but you're perhaps not willing to risk talking to him just yet, I think was the impression I got. You don't want Drodin to go Looney Tunes again.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are still in the library. It is yours to explore as you wish. As I mentioned, you are able to go to the past, the present, or the future. Each of you may hold the Stone Speaker's stone, use I think it's used 2 charges from it, and effectively look into events in the past, look into current events that are happening now, or a what if for the future. So it is over to you, really. What would you like to do?
So I've got questions. So you've got a plan. We've got a plan. So if Zuktmoy marries Aramicus, they gain power, they become more of a problem. So we need to make sure that the wedding doesn't happen. Do we know where we are in the timeline of that? Have we been able to find anything more out about that?
No, we didn't establish how close they were. Just that they were. We did establish that's where they were going.
Going, yeah.
I think when you saw
Okay.
Zuctmoy, it was in your vision of the future that Grim looked to the future. So it's unclear whether Zuctmoy is still in Neverlight Grove or is migrating. That's not clear at this time.
Okay. But it feels like before anything really happened, like that seems to, in my head, that seems like the next event, because they're going to want power before anything else happens. So they're probably running that part. Other question is, so we said about the Heart of Darkness will call the Demon Lords to one place. Where's the place?
Good question. Where is the
We-
place?
I think it's where we set it off, so we need to decide the best place where they won't do damage to everyone.
I kind of so I suggested Mensa Baranzan and then felt really bad about it afterwards. And they pointed out there was a bunch of people there that weren't evil, nasty slavers.
Yes, Droden and Viserion were both very anti putting it in Menzo.
It could, depending on the current situation, but we know that Neverlight Grove got corrupted and the good guys have fled. So that could be an area, because that was kind of more by itself, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, whereas we just need it to be somewhere that is not near anywhere that a lot of people get hurt, and also somewhere that is, because there's a chance that it could, it's going to be, if there's going to be a big battle between several demon lords, it's like, nuclear fallout kind of thing in terms of corruption. So I guess probably to think about
Now you're speaking my language.
permanent
Well,
corruption, whether it's going to be, it's going to be pretty bad anyway. I don't know.
Neverlight Grove or Sloopladoob would be decent places because they're effectively abandoned.
Well, do we? So we obviously we know that the Demogorgon went to Slubladub, which I never know how to pronounce. Has that been confirmed as like completely abandoned? Was everyone killed, or are there survivors? Could they be trying to resettle?
So
Not to my knowledge.
yeah,
We haven't done any confirmation.
you do know that outside of Gauntlgrim, some of the Myconids had a small settlement, including Stall. But whether anyone else has resettled it or what the current state is, no.
So, resettled where? So we were talking about Slubladub, but if it's Stall, are they
sorry,
trying to resettle them
Slubladub.
like
Yeah,
Grove?
you don't know what's going on. Sorry, that's me having a
No,
brain fart. You're right. No one knows what's going on there.
That could
and then with Slubladub, we think that there is a small group trying to resettle in Neverlight Grove.
But they are just Kvitar, and fish don't have feelings. I'm not serious about that, by the way.
This could be something we outsource to our allies in terms of all the scouts and stuff. We also need to be able to make sure all of those allies can get there just to help out in the big fight.
Exactly. I think
So that's why you can't just be out in the middle of nowhere.
That's a really good point. We probably ought to reach out to the King of Gracklestew and to the Sverf Neblin, and if we possibly can to the surviving Myconids, and try and get a place agreed on, because like I said, if it's going to be generally destroyed, or these people are going to still live in the Underdark afterwards.
So, in terms of moving forward, we need to contact the king and get him to move to scout for and decide on where we're going to make this fight happen. We need to go see. Is it Viseran, who I keep calling Thingy?
Yes.
Um,
Thingy is his middle name.
Yeah, Thingy Viseran. We need to see him to see what we need to go get. And Hazel makes a good point about checking where Ormaikos Notzukmoy is. Do we have any other questions in the library whilst we're here?
Had one, but it's gone.
I mean, we've got given this tool to look at the past, future, or present, and it almost like it's one of those things, isn't it? You could sit there and ask a different question every day for eternity and never actually do any of the things we need to do. So we probably ought to, yeah, I don't, apart from knowing, yeah, knowing what they're doing, where Zogtamoy is probably a good one, because that gives it a timeline, doesn't it? And we have no idea of what the other demons are up to, and so in some respects, ignorance is bliss in that respect. But I don't know. Should we spend some time in the present room and figure out where they all are and what they're doing?
Yeah, let's do that before we go. To be fair, whilst we're in here, time doesn't pass, right?
Apparently not. No.
We could be here forever if we think of any other questions, but... Yep, to the present!
Okay. You make your way through the library. You find the section. Again, the inscription on the stone in the floor states in giant, for those of you that can read it, the present is like sand ever flowing and escaping one's grasp without mercy or respite. It is silent and quiet.
Was it we each have one question in each time, or we only have one question today?
Per day, yeah.
So are we out of questions except for Grim?
It's a question in once in past, present, future. So unless you've asked a question in each one, then no one's out of questions.
Do we hone in on, like, do we make this question really specific and say, where is Zutmoy, where is...
Where are the demon lords?
Yeah, or do we do a more general... Where are the demon lords? And
one second, how many demon lords are there?
Well, that's a good question. Because
So yeah, maybe we would be better naming the ones that are actively involved in this.
could we say, could we phrase it like we're looking
7 that we know of.
demon lords who are on this plane now, because otherwise all the demon lords in the abyss are as well, which wouldn't be helpful.
Good point.
I'll happily go through all of them in existence with you. Okay. Is that what you're asking? You're just asking how many there are?
No, so we're asking how many, no, where are the demon lords that are on this plane? Is that right?
That was something like that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Who is asking the question?
I mean, have you all asked one so far? Is it just...
I don't know if any of you have asked present ones.
Happy to ask it then.
Okay. Okay. As you hold on to the crystal in the presence of the rest of the party, you ask the question, what demon lords are present in the material plane? Do you want to word it for me exactly? Not that I'm trying to catch you out, but I just want to make sure.
But you are.
Hmm.
Not that I'm trying to catch you up, but I am.
But it's fun to catch you out.
Oh, God. Where at present are the demon lords that have been brought into the material plane by Ben Ray?
Okay.
So done, Tom.
Okay. You see a shimmering in the air. The crystal almost seems to project an image as if you're scrying, and the first demon lord that you catch sight of is Zuktmoy. She is still in the same cavern that you remember fighting her in, although she is no longer asleep. She's surrounded by twisted, warped myconids, well, once were myconids, who are busy weaving her a huge fungal wedding dress and draping the kind of black and purple and green strands about her person. She is huge, imposing, towering, and kind of weirdly beautiful in a way. It seems like there is still a great deal of preparations to go, but she is no longer sleeping. She is no longer gaining her strength. She appears to be at full power. The view switches again instantly, and you see a Kuatoa stood on a beach, hands held out wide, iridescent, purple scaled skin and yellow bulging eyes, holding a staff aloft. And you see it chanting, praying, sort of squealing into the darkness, and after a few moments you see two huge tentacles break the surface of the water, followed by two huge demon heads, and your view backs up and you can see dozens, maybe even 100 more Kuatoa all kneeling in front of Demogorgon as he rises from the water. Sorry, for some reason.
Question.
Yeah.
In the background, are there buildings? Is it a beach with like Slubly behind it, or is it just a beach and there doesn't seem to be
There are
like any?
a few buildings, but the most of them still look damaged and broken from what you remember when you were there. Sorry, the picture.
Okay, so it is sort of Slubly.
It does appear to be Slubladoop. It does appear that he is still there in some way. Show you the picture. Don't know why that one's so small, but it is. You then the view again shifts quickly. It's almost like you're traveling thousands of miles in an instant. It's quite dizzying, and you see a huge sort of 15-foot tall gnoll-like creature wielding this huge 3-headed flail, and it seems to be running through these corridors with a huge pack of gnolls following it. You see dead creatures strewn all about, sort of some of them partially butchered. Goblins, orcs, minotaurs, all sorts of dead creatures, and they seem to be stalking through this maze-like series of caverns on the hunt. You then also see this writhing, oozing mass. Again, it seems to be in a huge open cavern, sort of oozing its way along, followed by this just sea of oozes and gelatinous cubes, all of these horrendous looking disgusting messes. It's very hard to tell where it is, unfortunately, but you get a sense that it is heading south. You then get an image of a purple gem in a bag of holding. And then lastly, I think, sorry, the picture's not working. Lastly, you see this probably more traditional looking demon. It's kind of almost what you would expect. Huge horned demon headed thing, muscular, huge, with a huge glaive with this brutal looking blade on the end. It has 6, 8, 10 horns coming out of its head and face. Very bestial looking. Let me show you a picture. Sorry. It too seems to be in this maze-like series of caverns. It seems to be stalking through, but seems to be ultimately alone. I will share that picture in a second. It's not working at the moment. And I believe that is all of them. Oh, and then Orcus.
Do I get the impression that that demon in the maze of caverns is in this? Does it look like the same maze? Because they look
Similar.
like stalking, and the one that I can't remember the names. I'm so sorry. The one that is the knoll demon.
Yanogu.
Yes.
Yes.
They look to be in the similar. They look similar. They look like they might be stalking each other. Do I get that impression?
It's hard to say, but they definitely seem to be in a very similar area geographically. Yeah. Definitely. And I will just show you the last one. Now that it is working. Huge, hooved, goat-legged, muscular, hairy, brutal looking. I think Drodin would remember there was another name, Fraz Blue, but there is no other demon lord showed to you other than Orcus, who again, it's very hard to tell where he is, but you see this huge red-skinned demon, horns, kind of almost like face with the flesh is sort of shrunken and crept back, huge wings, a massive sort of wand that looks like it's made from the spine of a humanoid creature, topped with a huge monstrous skull. And he is sat upon a huge throne made out of humanoid skulls in amongst what looks like a huge dragon's graveyard. Some of the dragons begin to stir, their eyes glow with a blue light. And he has an army of undead at his back.
I remember something else we learned last time, and that was in all of the what ifs, the majority of the time, the demon lord that won was the Demogorgon or Orcus.
Yeah.
So it's worth maybe doing a little research on those two as well before we leave.
So, okay, I will relay this to all of everybody, and
They will see it as well. They do see it because
Cool.
you're in the present. Yeah, they can see it.
So, Matt, can I just rewind this? Just check the names of the demons. So we've got Zugtmoy, who's
Yes.
the Myconids, Demogorgon, who's with the Kuatoa,
Yes.
Yanugu, who's with the Knolls, stalking in the caverns.
Yeah, it almost looks maze-like. You do see corpses of minotaurs, quite a few minotaurs.
Well, I don't know.
Then there's Jubilex,
Yeah,
the goopy guy,
yeah, is ooze and slime.
and he was just kind of. They were in like a pitted cavern. We couldn't tell where, but they were heading south.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rast is obviously in the gem. Orcus is on the big throne of human skulls in a dragon graveyard with an army of undead at his back, which is slightly terrifying. Yeah. And is it Yasma? We assume that the other demon we saw, also in the maze of cavern-like series.
Baphomet.
Yeah, Yaphemet.
Baphomet. Oh,
Baphomet.
Like the devil.
yes.
Does Grim recognize the dragon's graveyard as the one for the dragons that have served in Gracklestug?
That would be a strong probability, yes. Not necessarily, but strong probability.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So where we fought pre-Grim, where we fought the pedo.
Yes.
Cool.
Well spotted. Well remembered. I don't know if you've got inspiration, but I think you should have one if you don't.
Thank you.
And an
I'm
inspiration for
making
the
notes
question
again. It's
too.
been so long since I've made notes.
You're so good at red stringing.
I mean, if I was better at spelling, it would be so much easier because whatever I've written for Baphomet makes no sense. And I spent so long on it, I made no other notes and got very confused when there was a mention of mazes again.
When we were planning last time, it was noted that it was possibly the worst thing to be. That was the first time for you to not be there. You're not the only one who's any good at all that.
I'm trying not to for Grim. He's just going to follow the leader. But I will ask questions.
But we can't roleplay being smarter than we are.
This is the
one thing I'm good at. I've done it my whole life.
Yeah, we know you're role playing as smart as you are. Usually, it's us that can't do it. Okay.
Do we have any other questions in the present, or
I don't think.
If you want to ask stuff about them, the present is probably a good place to ask it. If you wanted it.
actually, yeah, rather than doing some research, instead of using the library as it should be, I could just ask.
We could ask. Could be any specific. Ask it of all of them. Say, do the demons here on the current material plane have specific weaknesses that we can use against them? Something along those lines.
Do they have the correct visa? And
Yes.
do they have the right V here?
Yeah. We need to. We need to contact the authorities.
Yeah, they're never getting into Gracklestug without the right visa.
But I haven't got the paperwork.
Yeah, is that the wording for it? Do any of the
think of better? Is that what Grim is doing? Really? Is he out because he's just an agent for the?
No, too real.
Control?
No, we had
You
one double
haven't
agent.
looked in his bag.
Yeah, we did the double agent thing in
You'll
Vampire. We try not to do it here.
Yeah, no. If you look in his bag, he has just got at least one copy of all of the main forms that could be of use at Gracklestug, just in case. He's been burnt before.
Right, how do we word? Oh, if it's the wording. Do any of the demons that have been summoned to the material plane by Benray have specific weaknesses, vulnerabilities, or resistances?
Vulnerability is a better word, isn't it? I mean,
Vulnerabilities.
vulnerabilities and resistances would be good words, because weaknesses could mean like, oh, they just they're
They've
like
got a real sweet tooth.
exactly. It's not. It could be taken different ways.
Okay. Have any vulnerabilities or resistances? I worry that these questions are too vague, but that's what we're going with.
Oh,
Well,
in
do we then want to give it context? Yeah.
in
like-
combat. Yeah.
In combat.
Or in romance, and then we just send Drodin off to, wine and dine.
This is where weaknesses could have worked. Like maybe they are. Maybe that's their weakness.
Girlfriend was a hook horror, so he's very
Zux
very minded.
Zuxmoy's just trying to get married.
Yeah.
Familial pressure, that's all that is.
Okay, ask your question.
Same wording as before. And do any of the demon lords that were summoned to the material plane by Benray have specific weaknesses? No. Have specific resistances or vulnerabilities in combat?
Okay. Vulnerabilities. No. You just get a resounding, deep, stone giant voice. Just go, no.
My vision is black. There is nothing.
Yeah, nothing. You just get nothing. But resistances, you get a flash of each of the same demon lords that you saw in Tom's vision. You see ice and fire.
This is huge, guys. Although I feel we could have guessed the fire thing.
You don't see it attached to any particular one, but it you just see a very cold landscape and a very fiery landscape.
We have to just assume they're all resistant to or both, don't we?
Yeah.
And just not use those. So no fireballs.
Oh no!
Did we use fire against Zuxmoy?
I think you did try.
Yeah, I think I dropped a fireball or a scorching ray.
It's hard to tell because it wasn't, any less pathetic in its effects than anything else, I think. Okay.
Right, is that it? Because I'm conscious of moving. We're against the clock.
Yeah. So we
Think
know
we should-
that we're not far from the wedding, not a long time from the wedding, so we best get a move on, basically. So how do you get hold of a bit of demon? That's the thing.
There were other things that we needed, right?
I can't remember the full ingredients, but a bit of a demon would be the
Well, that was the difficult one.
Yeah.
But if we go after Zuxmoy before, like preemptive Zuxmoy,
That was it.
have a bit of Zuxmoy.
Still, that seems, but there'll be Zuktmoya in full wedding dress. She'd be almost invulnerable. So we want to get hurt a bit first.
Yeah, but so we probably don't want to get her while she's in the cavern where we last saw her, because then we're one way in, one way out. Aramikos is on the other side of the lake, so they'd have quite a journey. So unless they've, especially if she's got her bridesmaids and whatnot, she's got quite a way to go. So probably in transit is a good point to attack. And at the moment, she's still preparing.
Those of you from the Underdark, is there an area where there is, is there an area that the Minotaurs live? Because we saw a load of Minotaurs on the floor with Inogu, and I'm wondering, I've got the feeling that it's possible that Baphomet and Inogu were stalking each other. So, I don't know if there'll be something left that we could take in that fight.
That's a good idea. The only thing is we can't predict exactly when they're going to.
No, but they were stalking something. I'm assuming it is an assumption as well. There's a lot of conjecture in that.
I'll let Drodin or Drodin and Grim, you're both from the Underdark, if you want to roll a history or it's amazing. It's probably mainly history, maybe nature, or you can just ask the question. You can just look for a book in here about anywhere with Minotaurs, if you want. Oh,
With it being in a maze, like or these tunnels, are they carved stone, or are they naturally formed like some of the other caverns?
they looked like they were naturally formed, but then have been carved to make them more maze-like. So almost extra tunnels have been woven into this area.
Probably not enough from a vision to be able to use stone cunning, though.
No, I'll let you use it. It's to do with tunnels and stonework. You probably would have heard of a maze carved into the Underdark.
Okay, it's just doubles my proficiency.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
So it was history, yeah.
I did a quick intelligence check, investigation check for looking for a book as well, while they're having a mull over it.
Okay.
So mine would be 15 because I get another 4.
15. Okay. Yeah. So Tom, you do find a book as you. Serdy's sort of looking for books. You'd be drawn towards one. And actually, it's not really a book. It's more of a scroll, which, as you open it, it literally has a huge minotaur, muscular minotaur, like almost like a sketch, a drawing, and then it just says filth riddance underneath. Filth as in filth, filth riddance in chat. Grim with 15, you do recall that it's probably a tale that Dwergar tell to their children so they don't run away from the city. Off to the south, or maybe the west, you're not sure, is they call it the Spiral of the Horned King. He's the king of the Minotaurs, and they have taken naturally occurring caverns and then carved them out into a huge labyrinth which covers a vast area. It's absolutely vast. It's probably bigger than the Dark Lake. And those that enter very rarely exit because it is so difficult to navigate, and it is full of Minotaurs, of which Tom has a picture.
South
South or west-ish, but With a 15, not really sure.
Wasn't, I mean, if it might be south, if Jublex was heading south, we thought. Are we getting the impression here that maybe some of them are all sort of gravitating towards a single place? Where was Aramikos? Was that to the south?
Yes.
Is it possible that they're all heading to Aramikos anyway? And
They've all been invited to the wedding.
but they hate each other, don't they?
But it would still be polite to invite, you know, well, I assume they're like cousins.
So if we were to, do we even need the Heart of Darkness?
If we want them to guaranteed get to a certain point, I think so. I now also have this fear that if two of them are in this underground maze, they won't be summoned because they won't be able to get out.
This is true. Didn't look like the Demogorgon was going anywhere either, did it? It looked like it was quite happily being worshipped. Plus, I mean, that's another thing. We thought that we have this hint that maybe Orcus and the Demogorgon would be the ones to survive the end. Is that perhaps because, you know, the Kuatoa that Demogorgon's likely to bring with it, and the army of undead that Orcus has, whereas the others had, you know, I mean, okay, there's some Myconids, but the Myconids have never struck me as a particularly capable people from what we've seen of them in terms of violence.
I've marked,
Uses, I suppose.
I've marked on the map, by the way, Hazel, roughly where you think it probably is.
So I was right in my guess of labyrinth? Question mark.
Yeah.
Cool.
We didn't see anyone hanging out at Everlight Grove anymore, did we?
There was definitely still Myconids, but they were twisted and warped and definitely infected by Zuktmoy.
Is that something we can undo?
It's a good question.
Because it's kind of near the labyrinth, and I'm thinking about our staging grounds.
You think we go there, kick some Zuktmoy butt, unheal all the Myconids, and then use a bit of Zuktmoy for the... Is that
It does feel like we've got some unfinished business, doesn't it?
the big revenge plot against Zuktmoy? I mean, with everybody just taking on one, could we do it? Without them being injured?
I mean, if we take on Zuktmoy, even if it's just enough to injure them and take part of them, we don't have to be completely successful, because then we can call the other demons and Zuktmoy's still going to have to deal with those. But then it's, what do we do while that fight is happening?
This is true. Oh, hang on though. Things happening in my brain.
Oh.
I don't like it.
It feels funny.
It makes my head tickle.
When we fought the Pudding King, he had a crown on him, and was that some sort of control over the oozes? If we were to take that and try and get a bit of Jubilex. Do you think we could control the oozes to stop them attacking us, and so we could grab a little bit of that Demon Lord? Because it feels like it. I don't know. It feels maybe a little.
My concern would be corruption by Jubilex.
Okay. But having the crown with us would be a good idea when we go to the final fighting place, because it would help protect us from the users. And if for some reason it was that one that survived and not the others, then we'd have that advantage too.
I think we need to make a decision about who we're going to go get.
Well, like you say, we do know where Zuktmoy is.
Oh, we're going to have to travel across the Dark Lake to get there, aren't we? We can't teleport from here.
There is no teleportation circle that you've seen, no.
We could get to Gauntlgrim and ask to teleport to Neverlight Grove, though.
Do they have a teleport? Well, I doubt it. They're in Myconid's not a big city.
Oh, true. Oh, we've got the lizards. We've got our riding lizards.
Oh, is that where we are? I thought we were by Mental Dereth.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought we were miles
sorry,
away.
I've probably put it in the wrong place.
I was thinking we were up actually where the party is, up the top there.
Oh no, I've put it in the wrong place. You're nearer to Blingden Stone.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, not far from Mantle Dereth.
Okay, this doesn't look too bad to do by boat. We can do it.
Yeah.
The boat is waiting for us.
Let's.
Okay, so 1 second. We've got Zuktmoy in Neverlight Grove. We've got Orcus in Gracklstug. We've got Yanagu and maybe Baphomet. Maybe one, maybe both, maybe neither of them in the Labyrinth area, which is a massive area. So then Jublex, we don't really know, but they were involved in Blingden Stone and they're heading south. Demogorgon is the one that's furthest away in Slublidup.
Well, from us, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We assume, we don't know where the other two are, but we think they're in the labyrinth, some of the labyrinth to the south here. But yes.
And then Aramicus is the big cloudy kind of construction completely on the other side of the lake from where we are. I think. Okay.
I've had a silly comparative thought. You know, like the WWE Rumble. If the Demogorgon is the furthest away, that means they're probably going to enter the arena last, so they're going to be at full health when others aren't, and we are probably going to be the survivors we go up against.
I like the comparison of comparing it to a Royal Rumble, though.
Yeah, me as well.
So
I mean,
clearly the
there's more chance there than a Hell in the Cell match, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I feel that fighting Zuktmoy in their cavern is a Hell in the Cell match. We can't escape.
That's baby talk.
Well, I will be a baby that will survive. Goo goo goddamn gaga. I may have taken too much cold and flu remedy today.
I was going down the total rabbit hole about which WWF wrestler each of the demons was in my head.
So, looked not for looks, but just like it, I'm just basing it on the sock. Mick Foley with the sock. That is a bit rotten, a bit decayed.
Well, the Undertaker is clearly Orcus, isn't it? So
I was going to go Kane, but considering their siblingness, because Baphomet and Unogu could also be Undertaker and Kane for that kind of sibling rivalry. Okay, we may have gone off on one.
It's my
What are we
favourite.
doing?
As you are having this discussion, you see Vizeran Devere again in his long green robe. He has got half a dozen books under his arms, and he is walking along with a huge scroll of paper which he's got open in front of him. He's trying to hold the books under his arms. It looks quite awkward. And then he will see you all. Ah, yes. Welcome back. How are your researches going? That good, eh?
I think well.
Well, I have completed my map, and this may, I felt, be of use to you all. If you wish to meet with me at my tower to discuss the Heart of Darkness further, you will need to know where to meet me. So I have prepared your map.
Thank you.
And he will roll it out on the floor and use these huge books to pin it open. And it looks very similar to your map, although it has more detail. I assume you are aware of these places. You have seen much of the Underdark, no doubt, in your battles. I have visited some of these places, others I have not. If we are to ally, then we need to choose the location carefully, and therefore we must be informed. Is any of this a surprise to you?
Much as we thought, I think, but we weren't sure where would be best. We felt that whatever the consequences, the battle would be dire for wherever it takes place. So,
indeed, but the cost to all will be greater. A sacrifice of some is worth the benefit to the many, is it not?
yes. Suppose.
And now I don't think we should be forfeiting non-combatant immunity. There are innocent people who don't want any part of this and don't need to have any part of this. We can pick our battlefield if what you say is correct.
Indeed, we can.
We should not be risking people who do not need to be risked.
Indeed, but we must accept that there may be a cost for our victory.
Yeah, and that's most likely going to be us. It's going to be people who go in knowing what's happening and why.
Indeed. This is why I argued against Menzo Baranzan. Although the city is despicable and dysfunctional, there are good people there.
So what we do know is that Zuktmoy is preparing for a wedding, believes herself to be betrothed to Aramicus and will be heading in that direction. Currently, she's in Neverlight Grove, though. I'll sort of point out on his map on the floor while I'm talking where we think they are. Believe Demogorgons and Slubberdoop. We
Really?
think that Orcus is somewhere near. I'll probably point to somewhere near Krakostu where we think he might be. Is that the Spiral of the Horned? Well, I'll ask Grim to point out where it is.
I can't remember exactly where the cavern is because we found it just outside of like the main part of Grapplestew, didn't we?
It is. It's just outside,
it's
probably
very close.
slightly to the west, probably. So it's probably in that sort of region.
Yeah.
We countered Duplex near Blingdenstone, and we believe they're on the move, heading south. We don't know where though exactly. We think that Inogu's in the labyrinth somewhere around there, and possibly so is Baphomet, or somewhere looking similar.
I would very much like to share with you the ingredients required for this artifact, but it is not safe to discuss it here. The walls literally have ears, from the past, the present, the future. I would not wish to share this with you here, and for someone from the past to overhear, and for all of this to be undone before we have even tried. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
I think I understand, yes. Hopefully nothing we've said already put it in danger, but presumably
I'm sure
find
not.
out where they are. So someone could have done that, yeah.
It is good intelligence to know where they are, for we can pick the battlefield more strategically, so that those that we wish to, the order of arrival could affect the survivor in the grand battle, could it not? I'm sure you've already had this discussion. I don't wish to teach you how to suck spider eggs, but there is a great many factors in this battle. Why are you all pulling faces? Spider eggs are delicious.
Let's not make that a thing.
They're too stringy.
They make your mouth all tingly.
So, are you travelling on from here, or do you wish to meet me at my tower?
From a logistics point of view, Matt, can we get messages to a sort of above table? Can we get? I know we talked about sort of not having to go into too much detail about the assistance we had. If we were to get messages to them to send messages to Gauntle Grim and Blingdenstone and Gracklestew and things like that, could we? Is that something we could manage via sort of messaging and things like that on our way?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you do have your forces, most of which are not with you. So you can send messages if you want them to go to certain places or you want them to do certain things. You can most definitely use messaging to send those any orders or any requests.
I think we should meet elsewhere, as you say, quite wisely, and perhaps decide upon a field of battle there. And once we've decided that, then just let our forces know what's happening.
Indeed. I am, unfortunately, I have no forces. I have incredible power, yes, but I have no significant allies. My tower, I am leaving soon. I will be clear. I am leaving soon. I have preparations that I need to make. If you wish to meet me, my tower, Araj, is 10 days northwest of Menzoberranzan. Alternatively, if you wish, I leave within the hour. You may travel with me. The choice is yours.
I think we can travel with you.
Think so.
And he will draw on the map a little circle.
Do you have any capability to teleport from your tower to elsewhere in the Underdark in case? Well,
Do you not have such abilities?
no.
Oh, well then yes, I can.
Anywhere?
Anywhere I have been, anywhere I have not been is dangerous and risky, and only a fool would attempt it. Why?
It's good to know. No, just because we've previously used teleportation circles. So
You are
if we
not.
wanted to go somewhere without a teleportation circle, like Neverlight Grove, it would be a bit more difficult. But if we can go anywhere, that's perfect.
Have you been to Neverlight Grove?
To be clear, I am not a magical cab that will take you wherever you wish to go. But yes, I can teleport you should the need be urgent and important.
We're discussing where we could get hold of the vital demonic ingredient.
Ah, I see. The blood and the physical piece.
Yes, and we're wondering. I mean, that seems to me that as it all hinges on that, really, then we can make as many plans as we like. But if we don't get hold of that, so if that's urgent, that you consider that urgent.
There are. I do not mean to be rude, but I'm going to be. You are not ready. You are relatively strong. You are not strong enough to take on a demon lord at this time. Maybe with a little more training, a little more experience, you are almost there, but you are not ready. I can see your inexperience shining through. There are other ingredients to this artifact. I think it would be wise for you to know all of them that are required before you decide where to dance off and skip through the Underdark to find these things, for you may find that you'll be running ragged, running back and forth. If you understand where each thing may be, then you can more intelligently go about the collection. Time is of the essence, is it not?
Yes, sadly.
And we must
I
not
think-
let over-enthusiasm, beat incompetence in this matter. We need to make sure we are successful.
Captain, do you think we should go to his tower first then? Discuss
Yeah.
all the-
No, he makes rudely made but absolutely rational points.
I'm nothing if not rational. I want us to succeed. I don't want to fail. We can't afford to fail.
Well, I think we're ready when you are.
Oh. You wish to travel with me?
Yes, please.
A wise decision. Well, I will prepare. It will take me less than an hour. I will meet you back here. If there's anything else you wish to tidy up or ask, then do so now, and we shall leave within the hour. Very good.
Does anyone have anything they want to do?
Last chance, really, if you're going to go with him.
Oh, what did we say? What did we promise to give? We promised to give someone the. What did we promise to give to the Illithid? Intelligence on the spell that summoned the demons. Did we find that?
You
No.
had a vision of Gromph Baneray
Mm-hmm.
casting a summoning spell it kind of going a bit wrong, and him being afraid and realizing that it was out of his control, that he had basically summoned more than intended. You did see his sanctum, and you saw a huge plinth with a massive book on it. You couldn't read what was in it via this vision. You could only see that the book was the source of the spell, and that book is in Menzoberranzan.
That's enough, I think. Do you not? That it went wrong, that the book that they did is in Menzoberranzan and Gromp Benray.
You might want to know the name of the book.
I'll still use the book that the Illithid gave me, whose name I don't remember. Grothalax.
Yeah.
And I'll fill in details saying, we got to Gravenhollow. These are all the demon lords that we know are on the material plane. This is how we're going to combat them. And this is who summoned them and why and where from and how they roughly did it from what we observed and etc. So I'll probably spend that hour until Viserion comes back just filling in that book with all the details that we've learned.
Excellent. You will, after you've finished writing it, you will see a little handwritten response that just says most interesting, but it seems to have too many O's in the most. Most interesting, almost pronounced like he spoke to you. And then there's no more. Okay, anything else?
Very, very unhelpful, man. Shit.
Doesn't look like it. I think it's time to travel to the tower.
Okay. You finish whatever it is you need to do whilst there. The stone giants go about their business. Replace any books that, well, I don't know. Do you replace any books that you've taken off the shelves, or do you keep them?
Put the book, scroll back.
Okay. The map.
There will be a returns trolley. We'll put them in a returns trolley so that they can properly track what is in use and what isn't.
Brilliant. It's a really huge returns trolley because you have to kind of jump, put it in like basketball, like because it's a giant one. But yeah, very, very thoughtful and considerate of you all.
You shouldn't put it back on the shelf you got it from.
It depends on the library, but generally they'll try and track what books are in use. So if you've just taken it off a shelf, had a quick look and put it straight back, that's not a problem. If you have used it, then that can inform their purchasing, like their acquisitions. Because obviously not everyone will take a book out of the library, but they might use it within the library. So it just helps them track like the general analytics.
There you go. I thought I was being helpful all these years.
And sometimes you are, like, don't leave them in a mess all over tables. Put them on the returns trolley. If there is no returns trolley, put it on the shelf. Don't piss off your local librarians. We know where you live if you have a library card.
They literally have all the knowledge. They're bad people to piss off.
Okay. Well,
I have transferred all of the location on Viserion's map onto our Explored Underdark.
Okay,
map.
you can keep Viseron's map, so you don't need to. But yeah, if you want to use your existing one, or I can open up the other one so that you can navigate to it.
I like using the Explored Underdark because it's got all the other smaller places that we've been on it.
That's true.
So this does look nice.
Yes. Is Gravenhollow supposed to be in lots of locations?
Yes. Yes, because it does not stay still.
Also, seeing the places we've not been to makes me feel like we've not completed everything.
Yet.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your completionism is twitching.
Yeah, well, I don't want, like, if a lot of this stuff, if it was revealed too early, you'd be dead in a ditch somewhere. So it's the right time to find out about it. Yeah, You kindly put the books in the return trolley. Vizaran does return. He has some very basic ingredients that don't look like they should be sufficient to cast the spell, but a few candles, some incense, and a few other bits of ingredients, which he draws a symbol on the ground. You've all teleported before then, albeit via circles. Yes, earth magic, I take it. We will be there instantly. I will warn you. My tower is protected. Do not think to double-cross me. You will live to regret it. Or maybe you won't. Do not even think of entering any locked areas. Do not touch anything that does not belong to you. And we will get along just fine.
This is a lot of rules.
Captain, I whisper this to Tink. Captain, do you think it might be a good idea if we sort of tied something around Droden's waist?
Like a bungee cord.
Something, I don't know.
Put him on reins.
It was don't go into locked places that bothered me.
No. He'll be absolutely fine. If he does go into a locked place, that's his consequence to deal with. You're a very paranoid man.
I am an experienced man who has lived centuries. And I understand the temptations of adventurers. Prone to following excitement, not wisdom, not intelligence. I hope you prove me wrong.
Friends?
I'm sorry?
I didn't think so.
Friends? I did hear you correctly.
Friends?
Who? We are?
No. I asked if you had any friends.
What value do friends have? I have power. It's better than friends. They don't let you down. Anyway. Are you ready?
Yes.
So I'll break it down to one simple rule. Don't touch anything that's not yours.
Wait. Shoes on or off?
Do whatever you like with your shoes.
Can we touch the floor? I'm getting quite concerned now. What about if I need to open a door and like it's not locked and you told me to go in it? Am I allowed to open it?
If I give
I don't own it.
If I give you permission, clearly yes.
Okay. So we can't touch anything we don't own, but if you give us permission,
I mean items,
we can
not the
touch
floor or the furniture or the stairs. Wow.
Do you have these?
well, then you need to give context when you're giving your rules.
The fate of the
Okay, now,
realms
if
is
there's
in your
anything I
hands.
know, yeah, and if there's anything I know, it's rules, and you need to be very, very precise in exactly what you mean when you set them, because otherwise people will find loopholes, or the rules will become too strict that no one will want to be your friend.
I don't care if anyone wants to be my friend.
And that sounds like someone who's lost a friend or two.
You've never been to Menzo Baranzan, have you?
I've been in many a war. And maybe you and me can be buddies if this all works out. I'm old too.
I am not
from
Dristo
Menzo.
Erden. I don't have friends. I don't allow that weakness into my life. Allies, yes. Friends, no. It is a weakness, friendship, that can be manipulated by those who do not care. You would be wise to...
What a miserable bastard.
Thank you. Are we ready, or are you going to ask more inane questions? Is this some form of wit, or are you just all morons?
Getting the measure of you.
Very well. Are you ready? Try and clear your minds. Don't think of any particular place. I'm sure that won't be hard for most of you. And we shall be there momentarily. There is a few minutes where he begins to utter incantations, applies various ingredients to the circle, lights candles. There are flashes of coloured light, mostly purple for some reason, with drow. It is a unremarkable, precise ritual. It's not beautiful. It is not. It is purely functional and to the point. And then there is that familiar feeling of the ground dropping away from underneath you, falling into blackness. And then suddenly you stop falling. You find yourself in a huge cavern. You can only see two ways out of this cavern. Incredibly narrow crevices. It's so narrow you would have to squeeze through very tight. And in front of you, you see, lit by flickering torches, which Drodin you would recognise as basically permanent magical torches, this strange looking tower, which looks like a cross between a castle tower, but it has an organic element to it, stretching off up into the darkness. Please, follow me. And he will walk up the stairs. The doors will just open in front of him. And as they do, you see in purple writing across them. It kind of glows in a purple light. Who speaks Elvish? Probably just Drodin.
Yeah, I thought Tink did, but
Yeah, I thought Tink did too.
The
The
language is not what I speak.
Oh, okay. Wow. There's a polyglot. You see the word vengeance in Drow, Elvish, written on the door as it opens. And he steps inside.
vengeance against what? If you don't mind my asking.
It is the Tower of Vengeance. It is my tower. This is where I formulate my plans to get revenge on those who wronged me. Especially Grumpf Bainray. And should you wrong me, I shall plot your demise from here as well, if you don't die at my hands immediately.
I don't care. Who
If
else
you made,
is on? No, carry on.
just maybe if you made as many friends as you made enemies, you'd have. Sorry, allies as you had enemies, you'd have more success in your revenge.
It's a typical uplander attitude. Friendship fixes all. Friendship is at the heart of existence. Friendship solves all problems. Friendship is weakness.
Yes, we know.
It's not really what friendship is. Friendship is just kind of what makes it worthwhile. Otherwise, why are you doing this?
You are making no sense again. In what way does friendship make it worthwhile?
Well, I go through all this to make everything better, not for me, but for my friends.
If everyone is trying
ones
to
who
kill
matter.
me,
And what do you gain from this?
Strength, power, courage, and more friendship. I didn't know this lot a few weeks ago.
Tell me,
They're my friends now.
are there any friends that are no longer with you?
Of course.
And how did that affect you?
It made me sad. but they live on in who I am. It's not just how I affect people, it's how people affect me. Friendship goes both ways. And sometimes it goes even further than that. I'm sorry you've been so lonely. And I'm sorry that you've had to rationalize it down into this kind of focus on vengeance, focus on power, isolation. It's very difficult, especially for men, and especially in the world that we live in, to be open to people and be open to our feelings. And I wasn't joking when I said that we could be buddies after this. You know, I can come and visit, we can have a chat, I can teach you how to knit. There's nothing better for the soul than knitting with a friend.
Right.
Even body doubling is quite helpful.
Body doubling.
Yeah, sometimes just having company. You don't even have to be doing the same thing. You could be doing separate things, but just sharing the same space, being at peace with each other. Real human connection, or drow connection, or insert species here.
You're just making yourselves weaker. Power and
If that's what you
fear
think.
is what makes things different, makes things better. Friendship is weakness. If you all care for each other, then you are vulnerable. You can be manipulated. When it comes to
Who's so
it,
knowledgeable?
I am
You're
drow.
so...
I've seen it with my own eyes. The weak are manipulated by the powerful.
In your experience.
My people, it is their way. It is all I know.
It's
You
a select
don't-
group sway.
You don't live with your people now. You can surround yourself with better people.
The demon lords are invading the material, and you're here lecturing me on the virtues of friendship. What mighty warriors you are. I'm sure Dristoerden would love you very much.
Let's get on with it then.
Good. Finally, you say something that makes sense. Food? Are you hungry?
I'm now too fearful that you're going to try to poison us because we're probably enemies.
You are not enemies.
Does that mean we're friends?
No, it means we are allies.
Come on, before he can even reply, Grim's going to like smack him on the back, which is probably his lower back, but in a friendly way, and be like, come on then, and start trying to lead him off.
He grows on you like a mold.
Okay. He will, but you see the tower. It has got a weird, eerie blue light which just seems to emanate from nowhere. There is a definite constant movement in the air, and a kind of electrical feeling that sort of tingles the hairs on the back of your neck. And he will. It's a basic entrance room. It's quite messy. You do see another young drow stood in the corner. He just has his hands crossed across his chest, and he has his head down. And he would just say, "Master, prepare them food. We have travelled far, and we would like to eat." And he will begin to walk up the stairs. "Come, we have things to discuss." And he would just march up the spiral staircase. Do you follow?
Can we ask this drow's name on the way?
The drow stays downstairs. He does not seem to And are you asking him his name, or
Yeah.
are you asking? So you actually ask him as you're going.
Yeah.
Vizaram, well, he's not important. He is just a servant. You do not need to speak with him.
You don't think he's important. I do. I would like to know the name and of the person making my food and to thank them for their efforts.
His name is Cleve.
Thank you, Cleve. It's lovely to meet you. My name is Tink. We appreciate your service in our time here.
You will catch her as Vizaran just turns and starts walking up the stairs. You can see Cleve looks at him, and he's definitely got a degree of hatred in his eyes. And he just nods. Can everyone roll me a wisdom saving throw? Not a saving throw, a check. Sorry, a check, not a saving throw. Don't want to worry you. Oh.
I'll catch up with Hey Tom.
Wow.
I'll catch up with Vizarin and say something along the lines of, and that's how you make sure they don't spit in your food.
He does laugh at that. Tink and Serdi, that is not a drow. You both see through the illusion. It is a slad, which is a rather monstrous-looking frog creature.
Like the same one that was following him around Gravenhollow.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I'll show you a picture. It is, to you two anyway, it is grey with kind of grey-white eyes, huge sharp teeth, spikes on its arms. It's pretty monstrous looking. But yeah, sorry?
So I'll just say, why the deception from your servant?
I am trying to make you comfortable. Is it not working? Should I stop trying?
No, I mean, I didn't mean to seem unappreciative. I just wondered, why the... Oh, sorry.
I am also presenting that nothing is as it seems in my tower. Should you mess with me, then you will regret it.
We have no intention. We're allies.
Indeed. We are. So, take a seat. And he will gesture with a hand, and you'll just see these plush red velvet chairs will just sort of phase into existence. Please. Wherever you are most comfortable. You see the staircase just continues to go up. And judging by the outside, it may be 5-6 floors. Not quite sure. This is my study. Please, sit. Food will be made available. What is it you wish to eat? And he will take a piece of paper. I'll just pass this round. Write down what you want. Cleve will fetch it. We should talk.
Well, it's
So I just pass it along. I don't eat anything.
Oh, I don't eat anything anymore. You can still taste though.
You can still eat. Yeah, you just perhaps don't get the huge benefit from it.
I haven't had a good sandwich in a while.
What would you like on your sandwich?
Cooked.
Sorry, Hazel.
That's okay. Go.
I'm thinking like a club.
I could go for that right now.
Anyway, we'll be here all day.
Yeah. As
I know.
those of you that want to order, what are you ordering, Hazel?
Grim's going to have tomato and roasted red pepper soup with a grilled cheese to dip in it.
Oh.
I could eat that as well.
Oh.
He's had a long day. He's been peckish for a while, but he doesn't want anything too heavy. So that's soup and then a slightly heavy sandwich.
I don't know why, but I expected Grim to like Rubens.
What's Rubens? I don't actually know.
He would love a Reuben, any kind, and then like a shrimp po' boy, any kind of dipped sandwich as well, a French dip. Oh yes.
Oof! I just googled a Reuben. Yeah. Oh, making me hungry now. Should we finish there?
Trojan would like mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Yeah.
Ugh. Not with the blue cheese you get down here.
No, with normal cheese. With cow cheese.
Mac and cheese with blue cheese in real life.
Ew.
It might be good. I don't know. I would be willing to try it.
It would have to have an array of cheeses. It couldn't be the only cheese.
No,
It would be too overpowering.
Exactly. Have a normal mac and cheese, but you'd have bits of blue cheese within it. Just little gems of yumminess.
So now we're all really hungry. It will take a while for the food to come. As you're sat in the tower, assuming you sit, you will see another drow will descend the staircase, walking down. This drow has a red robe. It's quite a young-looking elf, definitely younger than Drodin. Characteristic white hair that's cut about sort of jawline level. Sir, apologies, I did not know we had guests. The security is in place as you requested. Do you need anything of me? Like, no, you can rest for a few hours if you need. The drow will bow, and they will bow to each of you in turn. Welcome. If you need any assistance while you stay in the tower, then I am Grin. You may request anything of me, and I will do my best.
Sorry, 2 questions. Are they as they appear, or like the Slard?
You can roll if you want.
Okay. Was it a wisdom check?
Wisdom check, yeah.
Oh, I might get a 20 again. No.
He appears to be flesh and blood drow, based on that. Yeah.
I will introduce us as friends of Vizaran and ask what their job is here.
Grin will raise one eyebrow with a puzzled expression at the word friends. I am Master Devere's apprentice, Grin Alstel. Vizaran will be like, enough. You are interrupting our meeting. Be gone. And Grin won't say anything, but again you notice the sort of annoyance and frustration on his face, and he will carry on descending down the tower. You do start to smell the smell of food cooking, even though those of you that have written it on the note's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere, but you can smell the start of that food. So, the Heart of Darkness. I am confident that I can create this item. I am confident that it will work. The challenge is the ingredients. There are a number of them. I'm not sure how much I shared with you before. But there are a number of difficult to procure items. The first of which, for the center of the item, is a purple worm egg. Have you ever met a purple worm?
I
No.
haven't.
They are very large, dangerous creatures, huge. To the west of my tower, where it resides now, there is an area called the Worm Writhings. These are huge tunnels hewn from the rock by the purple worms. Within there are many nurseries. You could gather eggs there. They need to be fresh, and they need to be from the worm writhings for it to be fresh enough to be effective.
You know if purple worms have any weaknesses, vulnerabilities, resistances?
I have not particularly fought purple worms. I am but one drow. They are huge. They can be killed in the same manner as many creatures. They are not particularly resistant to magic or weapons. They are hard to pierce. Their armor is thick. Their strength is incredibly great, as is their constitution. But their minds are small, animalistic, instinct alone.
Did you mean worm as in a dragon, like worm, or worm as in a worm?
A purple worm. Do I need to show you? And he will utter an incantation under his breath. You will see this huge... I don't know if I've got a picture of him. Yes, I do. You will see this... You get an image of it moving through a tunnel, and it is absolutely ginormous. It's armoured, scaled, spikes, huge teeth. Huge. Huge. This is a purple worm. I assume by your expressions you have not encountered them.
No, I'm thankfully not. And that's okay. I think some people on the surface call dragons worm, but
Ah, a worm with a Y. No, a worm
Yes.
with an O.
Thank you. No, I was concerned I would have issues with this otherwise, but murdering a baby dragon would not be.
You're going to have to murder many things to gather these ingredients, I'm sure.
People have lines.
The other thing you need is the eye, the central eye of a beholder. I'm aware of one in Mantle Dereth.
Is it something in the eye of the beholder, or the actual eye itself?
It is the eye
Boo.
itself that you need. That is a relatively simple thing to get, I'm sure. Then we need 6 feathers for the heart. But not any feathers. You need 6 feathers, 1 each from a different angel. I can see your expressions. You are dubious, but I know a place. I know
There's
a place.
a location on the map.
And
Indeed.
what is this place?
It is hard to reach. I will not I will not hide this fact. It is a gallery of angels. They are how do you say, petrified. But it is deep within the labyrinth.
The labyrinth that people rarely come out of.
Even angels rarely come out of, yes.
Hmm.
The next thing you need, we may as well move through these quickly. You need 13 tin masks, a mushroom. You probably have not seen them. They only grow in the footsteps of demon lords or powerful demons. The blood of a demon lord you know of, and optional, but will improve the potential strength of the item, would be a piece of a demon lord of some kind. Anything will do, a bone, a horn, a toenail.
Oh, the tin mask mushrooms sound like something we'll find when we go to get the blood and a piece for Demon Lord. So what we have here is 3 separate missions.
You managed to conjure an image of the worm for us. Would you be able to conjure an image of the mushroom to make sure we didn't pick the wrong one?
Sure.
It would be an unfortunate accident if we did.
I don't know if I've got a picture of them, but let me just find. I'll have to find one. Allow me to look through my books and find you a drawing.
Of course.
But I will.
That would be better, in fact, because if we could take a picture, we could refer to it when we were there. I wouldn't want to make a mistake.
Indeed. Indeed. He will. I haven't got a picture of it, but he will. He will do an illusion again and show you this. It looks like it's the shape of a mushroom cloud, but it is a mushroom. But it has a strange, it almost looks like veins running through it, and they seem to pulse with this orange light that sort of shines through the fetid grey skin. These are never seen, or were never seen, until the invasion. I had one in my collection, but it has unfortunately decayed, so their lifespan is short once picked.
Are they plentiful in Demon's footsteps, or is it likely we'll have to go seek out more than one demon?
They will grow very quickly within the footsteps of a demon lord.
Okay.
The abyssal corruption seems to taint the spores within the Underdark, and they grow incredibly quickly. I'm interested in your thoughts. I appreciate it's probably a lot for minds such as yours to take in, but you are capable, clearly, to have survived this far, to have faced a demon lord and survived. You're
Multiple times.
Multiple times. You're clearly not inept. Which is why we are allies. You see the other drow come back up the stairs. The apprentice, Grin, Outstall. He has a tray full of all of the food that you requested, except for Serdi, who didn't request any, but may be regretting that now. And he will place it down on a table next to your seats. Is there anything else that I can get for you? He'll be like, no, be gone. Just Vizeran just waves him off, and he will go back up the spiral staircase and disappear.
So it all comes down to really, I mean, the tin masks, I'm sure we could find in the process of the last 2 pieces of the puzzle. So as you said, Captain, the last 3 are 1, really. that's the riskiest of all, I guess. So I suppose the question is where we go first. And then which of the places we get the other three from.
They all sound equally deathly, so I don't think it matters much which one we pick first.
We're going to have to figure out a way to de-petrify the angels if we go there. Because we'll have to do it 6 separate times.
The worm mental Dereth is that seems closer. Then we could go to the worm writhings and then to the gathering of angels. That would be, in terms of distance, the logical way. But then we have the other problem.
If we have some way of transporting these angels, then we could always take them to Gravenhollow and ask our friend to depetrify them.
Do you think you could get your statues crammed into your bag of holding?
As long as we're not running away from something, with some time and effort.
You could just break off the feathers and we'll turn them back once we have them.
Is there a guardian that you know of to the angels?
No, but you do need to be careful. They are petrified, but their consciousness, their aspect is still present.
Do you know what petrified them?
I don't know. They have been there, well, who knows how long. Longer than my lifetime, I'm sure.
Not an active basilisk as far as we're aware.
No.
Or Medusa?
Or beholder.
I have not been there myself, but I have heard tell. We sent scouting parties many years ago, and they did report that these angels, although petrified, can communicate, in a sense.
We can ask permission then, before we take a feather. Seems to be. Just something occurs to me, sir. You tried to get hold of the Eye of the Beholder before.
Why? No.
Just there was an attempt made on the Beholder when we were in Mental Dereth, and I just wondered if
You'd contracted it out, yeah.
No. It was on my list of things to do had I not met you, but no.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, just that we might have inadvertently foiled it if it was you. Well, no, we purposely foiled it. We didn't. If it was you, we didn't know why.
They would never have succeeded anyway.
No, I mean, we didn't purposefully get in the way of anything we were planning, obviously. But
I think it was the influence of a demon lord, because it was around the time I found this stone holding Grazit.
that's what we put it down to. I thought that was the case, but it just crossed my mind now that it might have been something more to it. That's all.
Oh, I thought we'd agreed he was just a slimy little twit.
Oh, the beholder.
Oh no, the person that was after them.
The Zentarim agent that we were communicating with was a slimy twit.
Yeah.
The actual assassin was mad.
Anyway, it's a digression. Sorry, everyone. It just popped into my head.
I think you're talking about the deep gnome, aren't you? That was asking about beholders. Are you?
Yeah, I've crossed wires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, there's a good question. Do we know if purple worms have any debilitating skills like petrification?
I do not believe so, but they do not see with eyes as we do. They sense vibration and movement within the earth. It's very hard to hide from them. And of course, they can burrow through solid rock, so they can disappear and reappear, making them very dangerous. I feel that you probably can take them.
Well, with that huge vote of confidence, shall we go for the purple worm first?
Well, you might not have to fight them if you can get in quietly and get out. You
Wouldn't
can
be any fun.
steal an egg and be gone.
We could try.
I think something like a purple worm would be a good test of your strength. If you... I know you've met Zuktmoy. How did that battle go?
Not so much of a battle, more of a tactical withdrawal.
Wise. And you all survived? Or is this where you lost some of your friends?
No, it was not. We all survived.
Then you are skilled. And how long ago was that?
Gosh. Lots happened.
Weeks.
Yes, that was... Feels like longer. So much has occurred.
If you cannot defeat a purple worm, you cannot defeat Zuktmoy.
You said you can only teleport us to places you've been, so where have you been in the worm ride?
I can certainly send you to where I have been, yes.
Is it going to be relatively safe, or are you dropping us smack bang in the middle of one of its nests?
I mean, I'll be clear, the worm writhings are tunnels made by these worms. It is their home. It is not safe. Far from it. The more noise you make, the more worms will come for you. And if you fail, I'm sure I will find other adventurers willing to try.
You said it was vibration, so it's not about noise, it's about the weight of our footsteps.
Noise is a form of vibration, is it not?
Yeah, fair, I look stupid now. Let's just move past
The
that.
ground vibrates, the air vibrates, magic vibrates, so all things are vibration. So
Yeah,
yes, it is dangerous, but you seem competent. If you survive Zuktmoy, you have something about you. If all of you survived, there is a high chance you could do this. We could do this. But be aware, the tunnels are filled with not just worms, driders, if you know what they are, etins, umberhulks, trolls, troglodytes, all call that place home, and most are food for the worms.
This is where we go first, then. Should we just rest the night and then we're good and rested and then head straight there?
I assume there's no sort of existing map of the tunnels, or the tunnels are always changing.
The existing tunnels do not change, but yes, new ones are formed all of the time. Old ones might collapse. There is no accurate map, sadly.
Okay. So we are going to need to think of a way to track which turns we've taken so that we can go back the way we came. We're going to need transport for a worm egg. Can it get through? I'll just hold out bag of holding. Can it get through something of this size?
Potentially, yes.
I can't think of anything else we need to prepare.
Time is of the essence. We just need to
Bumble our way through as we always do.
Can I ask you something else as well, should you? My rival has always been Gromf Bainray. Before I was exiled, him and I were somewhat competitive in the arts of magic, shall we say. I was aware, I've watched him for some time. And following the ritual, I have not been able to find him at all. Either he is protected from scrying or he's vanished. I would very much like to know where he is. I would very much like to deal with him.
Do you suspect he would be in any of these places we're visiting?
I doubt it. I think it is clear that his ritual was to summon one of the demon lords and bind them. Unfortunately, he summoned many, and the magic got out of his control.
Well, I suppose we can keep our eye out. Droden, you know what they look like, don't you?
Well, unfortunately, yes. They also know what I look like. So
I would also say it is not widely known that Menzoberranzan is the source of this incursion. Should that news reach the other cities, and he will look at Grim and hold Grim's stare, I'm sure they would move upon the Drow, and this would not be good for any city within the Underdark in these times. I would counsel keeping that information close to your chest. What you do is your own decision.
Can I roll an insight check against him and see kind of how much he believes his own words?
Yeah.
I am not good at insight.
That's good. That's a good roll. He does seem to believe it. You do get the impression that he is thinking like a drow, and generally with drow society, if there's any kind of sign of weakness or guilt, they will move in. The drow society is very it has the facade of law and order on top of this, what really is just chaos. So in drow society, it's very much a do whatever you want, but if you get caught, you're going to have the full weight of the law on you. So he firmly believes that if other cities find out, they would probably all march on Menzoberranzan and take on the drow. It's hard to know whether you can't really tell whether he actually cares if that happens or not.
But he at least means what he says.
Mm. The city has already been ravaged a great deal by Demogorgon. It tore through the city as it left. Again, I do not wish us to be distracted by external matters. We need to focus on the matter at hand. Please, eat. So, is there anything else anyone else wants to discuss or ask him, or any other discussions you want to have?
But does he have any way of making my armor less loud? So I'm a noisy guy.
You're a noisy guy.
Yeah, I've got full plate, haven't I? So it's
He's a noisy little
stealthing's not
guy.
good for me.
Noisy little
I'm just a
guy.
noisy little guy.
I can certainly think on it this evening and see if there's anything I can do to enchant your armor. You are indeed a
Much appreciated.
noisy little guy.
And at that point, he sneezes, and there's just a whole kind of ripple effect of clangs down his body.
Oh, and it's a dad sneeze.
Oh yeah, it's loud, and it echoes a bit in the room, and then you hear it go up the staircase.
You do. Who's in the room? I can't remember. I would say Serdi and Drodin. You both feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. There is definitely a presence in the room with you that you can't see. Makes you feel a bit uneasy. Tink and Grim, you're completely oblivious to it. You feel fine.
I can have a look around, see if I can sense like a spot in the room. Would that be like a
Yeah, you can.
Where it comes from?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do a perception check.
Can I also do one?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Serdi, you're not sure. You know something's here. Drodin, you could just hear breathing. And there's a slight musty, wet smell, which reminds you of the slard that you saw in Gravenhollow. It's probably in the room with you somewhere, but you're not sure entirely where.
Not going to say anything.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have a way to get us back here quickly once we've finished the job, or is it going to just have to be a march?
I can give you a stone of recall, should you wish.
Yes, please.
Very well. I will have one ready for you in the morning. Eat. Grin will show you to your quarters. There will be a room for each of you. If you need anything, just ask the unseen servants and they will provide.
Thank you.
And as he says that, you see some of the empty food dishes and stuff will suddenly sort of rise up and start spiraling down the staircase as if someone's carrying them. It has been an entertaining evening. I look forward to our success in the coming days. And he will
Good luck with us all.
begin. He just almost doesn't even wait for you to respond. He's quite rude. He just starts walking up the spiral staircase. And a few minutes later, Grin will, in his red robe, will walk down. Guests, good evening. Are you ready to retire, or do you wish to? Is there anything else you desire before we sleep?
It'll be good.
Very well. allow me to show you to your quarters. And he will start leading you this way, please, leading you upstairs. There's one floor which again looks like almost like a workshop. There's tools and bottles and alchemy materials, and then another floor where there is this strange mechanical spinning globe in the center of the floor, which just seems to spark with magical purple energy spinning. And then another floor, the tower is the same width, but there seems to be doors, which in your mind, those doors should go outside of the tower, but he will point at them. There is effectively one on each wall. Please pick whichever room you would like. They will adapt to your unique personality, so if you require anything, you need only think of it. He will gesture, and he will stand there and wait for you to go in the doors.
This feels like the point where Drodin would get zoomies around the tower.
Yeah, I mean, you do recognize this as... What's the name of the item? It's Drodin would recognize it instantly as this tower is one where he can literally shrink it down into a little item and then take it with him and then put it up anywhere he wants. So it's like a portable fortress, effectively.
It's a Dan's instant fortress, you could say.
There you go. That's the one. Instant fortress. So yeah, each of you, if you open the door, the room will somehow accommodate your personality and will be designed to make you comfortable. Don't know. Serdi, what would that room look like?
Well, it's a bit of a weird one right now. We walk in and it looked like the entrance to a cavern, a cave. But as you go out the cave, sort of a big cave mouth, and outside there's woodland and trees, and you hear bird song and things like that.
Nice. Drodin, what would the room look like for Drodin?
I think it would just be quiet, mellow, a little bit like a magical study with a bit of a library attached. Some nice cushions off to one side that he can chill in to do his trancing.
Sounds good. How about Grim? What would Grim's ideal room look like?
I think at this point it's quite a bare room, but there is a roaring fireplace, a standard little cot bed, a rocking chair with a little table next to it that has a cup of like whatever the Gracklestook version of hot cocoa is, and a little bundle of wool. I also think as he opens the door, there's a moment he looks back at Grin, and then another rocking chair appears, and it's be like, if you've got any time, I'm not quite so tired yet, so if I could bend your ear for a bit. Other than this one here, and I'll point to Drodin, I've not talked to many drows, and just wondered if you could tell me your story.
You want to hear my story?
I mean, everyone's got one. Only what you're willing to share, and
He looks
you
a
can
bit...
make it as short as you need to.
He does look confused at this. And he says, you want to hear my story? I have no story. I am an apprentice, nothing more.
Oh, well, that's quite a story in and of itself. You've got to have got there somehow. You've been chosen for a reason.
Master De Vere was exiled from Menzoberranzan, and I was his apprentice, so I was exiled at the same time. I am a servant, nothing more.
Always much more than that. And I'll kind of gesture to the other rocking chair and see if I can just get him to talk to me. I'm gonna befriend everyone in this tower.
Yeah, he will come in. He looks nervous. He does have a nervousness about him, but he will come in and sit down, and obviously the chair will like rock, and he'll be like, I apologise. The chairs are broken, it seems.
No, don't worry. Once you get into it, it's quite a soothing motion. Anyway, how do you like to spend your Sundays? And he'll just devolve into like random chatter. Like he'll talk about the cheese toasty he had earlier, like wax philosophic about it, so on and so forth. It doesn't need to be fully RP'd, but I want it noted he is befriending people.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm.
he seems confused by it. He seems a little bit distrusting at someone trying to befriend. There is a high level of cautiousness, and he is cagey. He does not seem to want to say too much, but you do wear him down, and he does start to open up a little bit. I mean, what kind of things are you looking to learn from him?
Just like, did he have a good upbringing? How does he feel about cheese? Grim isn't looking for any details for any particular purpose. He's just trying to have a conversation with someone that he thinks hasn't had a conversation in what could be a very long time. This just happened to be the guy who took them to the room. If it had been the deaf lad, it would have been the deaf lad that he was talking to.
I know you want to make friends with a deaf lad.
Yeah, be fun.
He is very reluctant to say anything about Vizeran. He initially mentions that he was exiled and that Vizeran took him with him, but he just is not drawn into commenting about him. He just seems to go quiet as soon as he comes up. But he does warm up over time, and that shyness seems to fall away, and he just seems so. It's not something you've seen many drow, but he's happy to be talking to someone, and he kind of gets enthusiastic. What I really long this existence is miserable. We see nobody. We spend all of our hours just studying, which is, do not get me wrong, my magical studies are important. But what I really long for is to return to Menzoberranzan and overthrow the matron mothers. Give freedom to my people. This is a true goal of mine. This existence in the darkness alone with that. And then he stops himself. Is a torture. Tell me of your home, friend.
And I think Grim will tell him about his version of Gracklestug. So less about the rules, more about what his mum was like, the garden at the house he grew up in, just the little things that make Grim Grim. And as he's doing this, he is knitting a pair of socks, and they are purple and orange. It's the offcuts. It's the offcuts of what he's got with him. So it's like purple, orange, and like a baby pink, and they're in a zigzag pattern. But they are the correct size for Grim. So once they finish talking to each other, he will hand over a little show of friendship.
He seems genuinely happy to receive them. They are unique. I appreciate them. Thank you. You are.
Anyone who sees you in those, they'll never think you're a drow's drow.
I shall wear them always. Can I confide something in you? I am concerned. I understand what's occurring in the Underdark, and I understand my people are misunderstood. They are not misunderstood. It is the leadership that causes the chaos. It is the leadership. It is Lolth. It is the matron mothers. They are the source of the chaos. They are the source of the oppression. And yes, they are the source of this whole mess. I do not wish to see my city turned into a battlefield for the demon lords. I would implore you when you choose the location, although it would be tempting to choose Gromf Bainray's home, please do not.
Come here, lad. Don't you worry. We're not going to risk your people. I know some damn good drow. There are good people. And even those who aren't that good aren't always that bad. We're not going to pick it as battlefield. Don't you worry about that. And if we can help people along the way, drow or not, we'll help them.
Good.
Cities don't have to burn for this.
There are many like Vizerin in my city.
I know. I've met some of them.
He's a...
I've slayed some of them.
Hmm.
We will fight that battle when it comes to it. For now, we need him. And I don't want you worrying your head about it.
He's not all bad. He's a product of our lives in Menzoberran's, and he is an asshole, though.
Oh, that I know.
It has been a pleasure, Helgrim. I hope we have more conversations like this.
I'll make sure of it.
And thank you for my socks.
No problem. Do you happen to know what shoe size Cleve is? I'm not sure I've got enough wool at the moment, but I can get started.
I don't believe he wears shoes, but I would say big. Like this big. And kind of...
I mean, if he doesn't...
3 toes.
Has he got like a back toe, or is it just the 3 forwards? Has he got a heel, or is it like a...
I think there is a back toe, yes.
Okay. That's good to know. I mean, even if he doesn't wear shoes, his feet have got to get quite chilly in the winter.
He doesn't seem to feel it. His feet are webbed as well, which may be a challenge for you.
Oh, no, I can deal with that. I've knitted many a webbed sock in my time.
I mean, I'd rather you made him some shorts so I didn't have to, you know.
How about a poncho? Do a poncho. And then that gives him the freedom of movement.
I don't know what a poncho is, but yes, I would say go for it just from the enthusiasm of your suggestion.
Why
I think that can work.
Why not slot dungarees?
Yeah.
I want him to have like full freedom of movement. What if he does hop? That's a wedgie you don't want when you've got to go full squat.
Are all Dwegar like you, Helgrim?
I think I can safely say no, but some are, and they can be quite fun. Anyway, I've kept you up enough tonight. Off you go. Get some sleep. You'll need your strength.
Oh, we don't sleep. 4 hours meditation is enough for me, but please rest. If you wish any food, drink, just ask the air and it will be delivered. It's been a pleasure. Good night. And he would sort of bow and actually like break eye contact, which drow do not normally do. It's a big sign of trust. And he will leave the room. So it is 10 o'clock. We will leave it there, and something rather unusual is going to happen now, in that you are currently level 9, but you are now level 11. You are going up 2 levels.
That mac and cheese.
We're prepared for 10. I wasn't prepared for 11.
It's okay. You got time.
I wasn't fucking prepared. Why have we got 2 levels? Not that I'm complaining, right?
Because knowledge is power.
Just because.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. I'm just feeling generous. I feel like
You're worried we're going to die.
Yeah.
Damn, they decided to go for the worms first.
No, I think it. I was pondering whether to leave you at 10, But I think, yeah, I think 11's the right. And I think you've learnt a lot. You asked a lot of good questions. You've uncovered a lot of good information. I think going up 2 levels makes sense to me. It's not all about fighting things. It's about intelligence, research. That's all going to help your chances. So if you hadn't have done that, I probably would have just done 10. But no, absolutely. Level 11. Sorry if that's more to think about, but hopefully you'll get some nice stuff ready to... Yeah, what's the level?
I get improved divine smite.
Ooh. Is that like extra dice?
Yeah.
Nice.
All melee weapon strikes carry divine power with them. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon, the creature takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage, so it's just any melee attack.
Nice.
Oh.
Beast.
Yeah, can I just say how much I enjoyed that little bit of banter between Grim and Grin?
Grim and Grin.
And I think there is no greater fuck. I think it was a meaningful, well-meaning thing, but there is no greater fuck you to Vizeran than all of his house stuff wearing slipper socks in garish colours.
Yeah.
Made by their
Just a
friend.
Yeah, there's just constant reminders. Because if Grim survives all this, he will come back and visit. He will make a point of it. If he doesn't, then there needs to be something. In the morning when everyone's up, Grim will be sat having coffee with Cleve.
I bet Cleve likes coffee, actually.
Probably. He'll like the
coffee.
really thick, the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that's been left in a percolator for far too long.
It's
that
probably
kind of
like
thing.
Turkish coffee, where it's really thick. Or something I've tried recently, which I love, Vietnamese coffee, where it's like
Yes.
it's really strong and then condensed milk through ice. So good. Anyway, yeah, no, I love that. I like I have it in my mind that the next day you'll probably get up and he'll look the same with his robes, but you'll just see the flash of the socks
Long glimmer.
as he moves around. Yeah, so it's nice. I know Vizeran is a real horrible, obnoxious character, so sorry about that. I didn't know whether that would be enough for you not to work with him, but you were all very patient, to be fair. But yeah, he's a proper old school drow, so he's miserable git, basically. He's so used to the infighting and the chaos that he just can't... he's an older generation. He just can't see room for change. But Grin is different. Grin is a new generation of drow. But yeah, well done. Yeah, so level 11. Anyone else get anything good?
I get a very cool little feature called Runic Shield. So within a set, I can't, I'll just turn it off. But it's within a range of me. When an enemy attacks an ally, I can force the enemy to re-roll that d20 and use the result.
Nice.
Up to my proficiency bonus many times.
Nice. Oh, that's quite good. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's kind of very protective.
Critical hit, you can re-roll that.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Well, that is good, actually. Yeah. If you can get rid of a crit, it's well worth it, isn't it? And he might even turn the crit into a miss, effectively. That's very cool. Very cool. What about...
I got 2 fancy features because I was debating whether to take an extra level in Artificer. But I've taken 2 levels in Wizard. So I get the ability to create a spell scroll after a long rest that only I can use. As long as it's only level 1 or 2. But whatever level I pick, it counts as the next one up. So I can write a 2nd level spell scroll that then gets cast at 3rd level.
That's cool.
An extra spell slot, isn't it, at a higher level? So it's really good. Yeah,
it saves me a low level spell slot. And I also get an extra level of spell. So the 2 I've picked are Teleportation Circle and Arcane Hand.
Nice. Oh, Teleportation Circle.
Yes, because I was lamenting the fact I didn't have that sooner.
Nice. How about Veronica?
And it will allow us
sorry, Jim.
to get around as long as I can get my hands on the chalk.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I didn't realise you could get that. That's awesome.
And I've also got an arcane hand, like Scatman's.
Ah.
So that will cause some nice shenanigans at some point.
Better read up on that, hadn't I? So that you don't
It's
catch
just a
me
hand
out.
that I can either punch or catch people with.
Oh, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. You have to think about how you're going to theme it. How you're going to make it Drodiny.
Oh, I already know that. I've known that for ages.
Nice.
I'm not elaborating.
No, save it. Save it for a surprise. How about Veronica, or are you not decided what you're going to take?
No, I've not decided, but because I've forgotten my login to D&D Beyond.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. What's your gut feeling? Are you going to go sorcerer or
I've been
warlock?
going full warlock that was always the plan. I'll take a look at both.
Yeah.
But...
So how many levels of each have you got now? I can't remember.
I want to say 3 in sorcerer, and then I took everything else warlock. Yeah, and I don't want to muddy it even more because eventually, well, already I'm a little less powerful. My spell slots aren't as high or as many as a full caster in one.
So one thing I will say to you, and this has always been my intention, and I know I'm quite happy for people to shuffle their character around or what anyway. So yeah, you got 6 warlock and 3 sorcerer. If at any point you resolve your cold iron heart situation, if you resolve that, I will allow you to completely respec however you want.
Thank you.
Although you can anyway, to be honest. But yeah, be interesting to see what you go for. Sounds good. Okay, right. I should stop the stream. I didn't realise we were having a nice chat. But yeah, thanks for playing. Well done. Welcome to level 11, and see you next time.